1.
Back here on the Goldeyes show in beautiful Shaw Park, not a cloud in the sky. I'm going to get burnt here in the next 15 minutes, Ryan, but that's okay. We're going to have a conversation with newly acquired left-handed pitcher, Winnipeg-born, sort of bred, Ryan Johnson. Ryan, I got to ask you first and foremost, number 29 is a goalie number. You wore 18 in Lubbock. No choice on the number?
So when I first got here, they gave me 32, and I thought, okay, well, 32 is cool. I don't mind it. I had 32. Actually, one of my college numbers was 32. And then the next thing I know, I come back the next day, actually the day for my start, and 29's in my locker, and I kind of go, I cannot believe the odds of that. Actually, because the number I grew up playing with my whole life in Manitoba was 29.
And that's for goalie, you said, right? For hockey?
Baseball,
for everything?
Everything.
Oh, wow.
Baseball and everything.
So you were a number 29 guy from, maybe they did some research on that for you.
That's some crazy research, though, because they don't really have those kinds of stats anywhere online. Like, he was number 29, growing up. So when I saw it, I was like, I don't even know if I don't know if he looked into it or not, but I told my parents, and like, what the heck is going on here?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up in Winnipeg, youth baseball, youth sports, whereabouts in the city did you live and grow up? What teams were you playing for?
Grew up in St. James my whole life, actually. There was a brief stint where my mom went off and lived in Charleswood for a little bit. But other than that, it's been St. James, west part of St. James my whole life. Went to French immersion schools, and I was at Sturgeon Heights for a few years there, but played all sports, St. James, everything like that. I think when I was hockey, it was Heritage Victoria.
Okay.
Those schools, those places like that. Yeah.
All right, so sunny St. James is the born place of Ryan Johnson. St. James, you also played junior A ball with the boys out in St. James?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Started with that, and then I had to do some research myself. 2009, the youth group, the youth team with Jason Miller. He didn't play on the team, but he told me about how hard you throw. And he says his hand and his catching hand was still very sore still.
Well, it was tough because, there's a bit of movement to it too. I don't know how hard I was actually throwing. I don't really throw exceptionally hard, especially in a pro level, but for Manitoba, it was coming in pretty good. And I remember there's movement to it, and the first one I threw just came right back at him, and he just went, oh my gosh.
There you go.
I was like, sorry, Millsy, I'll try and keep it in the zone for you, buddy.
Do you have those conversations often with catchers nowadays? Every time we talk to a pitcher, we talk about the importance of a relationship between pitcher and catcher, and making sure you're on the same page, obviously with signs, but calling off batters, throwing to second, that kind of thing. How important is that, having Garcia and the boys back behind the plate this year?
Oh, it's incredibly important. I know one of the first conversations that we had about baseball in general was just, hey, what do you throw, man? Why do you like to throw it? And what are you most confident with? That was the first thing we talked about. Actually, Kev had some sort of flu going on, so he couldn't really talk. So he came up to me and he had a ball and he just went. And I'm like, all right, pitches? He's like, see, all right. So I was like, fastball, curveball, changeup, yeah.
That's awesome.
Good, really good relationship.
So let's jump back in the Wayback Machine just a little bit. Baseball Academy just outside Edmonton. Was those your high school years, just after high school?
It was my senior year, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, senior year. Growing up here, was at the Rookies Baseball Experience. It's actually not Home Run Sports Training Facility. But back then, even, they were preaching to us, okay, if you want to play at another higher level, you got to leave Winnipeg at some point because there's just not enough opportunities here. So an opportunity arose where I can go to play in St. Alberta for the year, for my senior year too, and it was the first year program, and actually the pitching coach for Rookies was going to be one of the guys over there, and he says, hey, you got to come with, let's go. Great opportunity. So I went and took it, and everything just kind of skyrocketed from there.
So skyrocketing from there, the first set of plans after seniors was it Crowder then after that?
It was Crowder, yeah. It was a JUCO coming out of it. They just went to the World Series before that. They were ranked top 10 in the nation at that time and had a great scholarship and an amazing opportunity to go there. And then after that, went to College of Southern Idaho, which was more pitching for me because I hit in Crowder.
Okay.
And a little bit of pitching wasn't so good, but then I went to CSI and it was pretty much all pitching. Got a couple all-conference awards there, which was nice. And Idaho, that area is so beautiful too, and learned a lot with the pitching coach there that played professional baseball, was able to help me out with a lot of things there. And then from there, Lubbock, yeah. Lubbock after that.
So I got to ask you, when you go from the senior high school level into colleges, especially southern colleges and colleges in the States where it's usually baseball and football are the number one, number two, you see some big guys up there.
Monsters.
You see a lot of power. You see a lot of pitchers that are roughly the same size as you. You're a pretty big guy. But how did you take that first in? And do you ever remember the first home run you gave up and be like, uh-oh? Do you remember that story? Do you have a story for that?
I actually do remember the first home run I ever gave up. College was actually at Crowder, and I didn't pitch much. But I remember the first college home run I gave up, I threw a fastball outside, and it just kept, because it got run on it, so it was going out, and the guy hit it, and I was like, I'll pop up. And I looked, and that thing was 30, 40 feet over the fence. I was like, oh, no, not even close. Like, oh.
So the crack of the bat didn't even give you a chance,
Not
right?
even a chance.
Are they using metal bats on you too?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's different. So metal bats is a whole different story, but I mean, it's a different sound off a wooden bat. But at least you remembered giving up the first one. You haven't given up many since. You look at your stats. I mean, your senior year in Lubbock was 13-2. Like your ERA was around 3, sub 3, 107 innings, 100. You were a monster at pitching, to the point that you got pitching in the year awards in the Heartland Conference that year. Tell me how exciting that was, ending your season with Lubbock. And I mean, not saying your junior year wasn't any worse either. It was fantastic.
Senior was
fantastic. How were those last 2 years at Lubbock, and the chemistry you built with that team? How great was it seeing with those guys and finishing off the year that well?
That I've said it before, I'll say it again. That place is special. The people that are there, the faculty, staff, the teammates, the people at Lubbock Christian, in Lubbock even, they're just genuine people. They're amazing. They want nothing but the best for you. They want you to succeed. They want you to have a great time. And the chemistry on that team this year was, that was a family. And it's cliche to say, sports team, it's a family, but we hung out with each other like almost every day. Heck, around where I lived, there were 3 other houses of guys who are on the team that were walking distance from where I was, and it was walking distance to the school. And so I'd get out of practice, go home, do a little bit of homework, and then I'd be like, all right, I'll just walk over to Peyton's house, open the door, and they're like, what's up, dude? I'm like, hey, man, just hang out for a while, and it was such an amazing, the chemistry is fantastic. I've never been roasted so much in my life, but I've also never laughed as much and loved as much as I have in my life either, just the brotherhood out there. And, and I got to tip my cap to the hitters. Every time I went out there, they put up 5 runs. I think until 2/3 through the season, they were averaging 7.2 runs a game, I think it was, every time I started. So it's pretty easy to win ball games if I know that all I have to do is throw strikes, get outs, let my boys hit. So, and that was a huge part of the success, and that's what we preached from day one. Coach Justin Sunley, pitching coach Justin Sunley was always like, hey, we're going to go after these guys 4 pitches or less and we're gone. All right, sounds good. So then we just strike, attack with a fastball in, be aggressive, and so that's good. You're
making short work up here too. 1-0 right now, 1-0 decision. Mm-hmm. Your ERA is less than 1. I think it's a 0.71. You've only had 2 starts, but nonetheless, how exciting was it to pitch here at Shaw Park opening your first game? Do you have nerves a little bit?
I wouldn't really say I was nervous, but I was jittery. I was just more like, I just don't want to suck. And so for first pitch, I go out there and my back foot slips off the rubber and I bounce past the ball about 30 feet. And I looked around and there was just dead silence. And I went, okay, well, can't get any worse now. Might as well just keep trying. And it was amazing though, man. My family was sitting right behind. And I had so many friends everywhere. I had men's senior team, actually. They were up in the stands wearing jerseys because they were doing 50-50 that day.
No way.
Oh, yeah. And they were so rowdy.
Good.
Just heard them yelling and screaming the whole time. And I couldn't have written it up any better to have my first pro start here at Shaw Park in my hometown. And
all positive too. No one was gaggling you, nothing like that.
No, it was all
course
positive.
Not.
No, come on. If there were, I didn't hear them. There was so much more positive than negative. It's tough to even listen to the negative when there's that much going on. So.
No, your one start at home was fantastic, and I got to say it was a good start. 1-0, a lot of good reception, and we'll get that in a second. There he is. He holds the ball a lot better in his hands when he's on the mound, really. Speaking of the ball, your favorite pitch? Fastball, curveball, slurve. I learned another one, a slurvey.
A slurve, yeah.
Akers got this slurvey pitch. I've found out today. What's your favorite ball to throw from the mound? Fastball, first pitcher?
Fastball. Because I throw the most, out of all the pitches I throw, it's got to be a fastball. So I'm most confident with that in any count, pretty much. If I'm going to challenge a guy, it's going to be with the fastball. So, and again, it's not going to blow your door. It's not going to blow their doors off, but if I can get it in, especially against a righty or a lefty, it's going to be a tough pitch to hit because of the added movement. So
that's my next question. Being a left-handed pitcher, that motion off the ball is different compared to a righty, obviously. It sails differently. Mm-hmm. So when you're throwing it even at high 80s like you do, you're doing pretty good.
But the extra movement helps a lot, right? Just another dynamic to which the hitters just try and make that adjustment. And it's not always consistent movement. Sometimes it'll sink, sometimes it'll go straight across, or even I've had some cut sometimes go the other way. And it's just huge. It's like having 2 pitches in one. You know what I mean? So
for sure,
I'm just thankful I'm left-handed, man.
Two-seamer, four-seamer difference?
Yeah, both actually.
Okay.
So, but I'll mix it up just based on how it's feeling at the time. I like to go two seams arm side a lot, just because I get the natural movement. Again, something else that can help me against right-handed batters, especially if they're looking to be aggressive early in the count. I get a little bit extra movement on there, and hopefully maybe it's not a barrel. I'm looking for a swing. I want them to swing. So if I can get them to swing and it be off the end of the bat or weak contact, I'd love that, because those boys up the middle, they're solid.
Yeah, you got a great infield behind you. I think in that first game we had 13 groundouts, which was pretty impressive, because put the ball on the ground, it's going right to those guys with a little bit of motion left and right. And it was easy out at first for them. So you got a lot of help in the infield, that's for sure.
No kidding.
A lot of help with the bats too. You're getting some timely hitting.
Yeah, 2 bombs.
Yeah, that helps out, right?
No,
just like the old days in Lubbock, you get a little bit of run support and bada
man.
bing, bada boom.
Hey, give me the run. Give me some runs, and give us a chance to win. I'm just gonna go out there and try my hardest and give us a chance to win. So, yeah, when Reggie hit that bomb, I was like, let's go.
There you go. A little more excitement.
Yeah, a little bit of weight off the shoulders too. I thought, okay. Well,
speaking of excitement, how did you find out you were coming to Winnipeg? We haven't touched on that yet.
I haven't, no. So I ended up getting in touch with Amos Ramon. He's an alumni here, played for 4 years, I think he was a hitter of the year one year, actually. So I'm still in touch with him, good buddies with him, and he comes up and watches a bunch of the games still. And so anyway, he was asking me, what do you got going on for pro opportunities, things like that? And I was like, well, I talked to the Red Sox a little bit. Didn't get drafted, obviously, draft's over. But so I said, I'm talking to the Red Sox a little bit. But that's about it. I was going to play some summer ball over in Ontario in the IBL, and he said, okay, well, you interested in going playing pro ball? I was like, yeah, for sure, man. And so, all right, let me make a couple calls, let me text some people. So we text Rick, and then Rick Forney there, and not even 10 minutes later, I'm getting a call from him, FaceTime, because I don't have a number when I'm in America, so I just use FaceTime, iMessage, and so get a FaceTime from him. I was like, oh, I think I recognize this guy. Oh my gosh, I recognize this guy. And he said, hey man, we want you to come on down. You still interested in playing pro ball? I was like, yeah, for sure. And then said, okay, Andrew Colley is going to give you a call here anytime, and then we're going to go from there, and we're going to figure out how we can get you down here. We want you down here for this weekend. So I had to pack up 3 years of my life in Lubbock and in a day pretty much, and fly on out. So,
how'd you do that? Hard,
but 2 suitcases. But I've packed enough times in my life where, and again, I didn't bring down too much stuff. And I didn't really always have enough money to buy new stuff, so I was pretty consistent throughout the whole thing. The hardest part was like, okay, how many shoes can I take? And I was like, can't take the red royal blue cleats. I'll take the turfs, because they're nice turfs.
Decision on shoes, not just for females as well.
That was the hardest decision, deciding how many shoes can I bring. So I actually only ended up bringing these guys and a pair of walking shoes. So I just left everything else there, throughout the older stuff. I have a whole bunch of clothes I didn't wear, and I just I gave them to Goodwill. So
every time I leave a different city, I'm the same way. Whatever fits in the car is what I bring, and whatever doesn't fit in the car stays. So that's the rule of thumb. It's got to make the cut. You definitely made the cut here in Winnipeg. I mean, Shaw Park has definitely welcomed you, and they love seeing a great starting pitcher from the left side as well, because left-handed talent's hard to come by, and Skip will tell you that. Beginning of the year, they had 8 pitches from the right and 4 from the left. So you're helping the left, which is good.
Trying to help.
If you had a song you had to come out to the mound to, what would it be?
Oh gosh,
they don't do that for you guys.
No,
they do it for the hitters. They should do it for the pitchers for the first inning.
I agree with that 100%.
Maybe I'll work with Stevie on that and see if we can get that going. But if you had to have a song, what would it be?
It's gotta be rock. Gotta be rock. So it's either gonna be War Pigs, Black Sabbath, or Icky Thump by the White Stripes. Okay. 2 songs I like the beginnings of. You can only ever hear the beginning, right? So,
first 30 seconds, that's all you get. Or you get the intro, and or you get the chorus, and that's about it.
True. But I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're back home. You've been here for a little bit. Kind of getting settled now a little bit?
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little banana lands for a bit there. We were bouncing around a whole bunch between here, the house, just trying to see people who wanted to be seen, like family. But now that I've been here for a week and change, it's been nice just to kind of, okay, what time is it? All right, let's go to the park. Let's go hang out. And getting into a routine's been huge too, being able to throw a whole bunch and just get my lifting in, get some running in. It's been fun. Yeah. You
got a Manitoba number yet or no?
I got a Manitoba number.
Okay, so your phone lighting up for tickets?
No.
Not yet?
No,
good.
Come on.
Attaboy.
I'm still under the radar.
Good. I got to ask you about that duster. Your picture in Lubbock was absolutely sensational. I thought I was going to meet some honky tonk fella, and I'm like, wait a second, he's from Winnipeg. Yeah. But that duster is awesome. Is that like a true stand, like, that's your recognized thing? Or?
No, I didn't have a stash until we were, it was actually the regionals in the playoffs, and we were doing everything right. We're hitting balls hard, we're making good pitches, and we just could not get a break. One time, it was like the last 2 weeks of our season, could not catch a break. And so everyone just was like, all right, muzzies, let's go. So the whole team went Matt mustaches, and there were some beautiful ones out there. Beautiful mustaches.
Especially when the winds go and the dust goes in Texas, just catches all
my
that beautiful
gosh.
dirt. Isn't that beautiful?
It's
Licking
nice.
it up
Like,
in the
it's almost
6th
like,
inning.
it's almost like a nice little orangish hue, you know, just chilling around the outsides. It's good. Adds a lot of color.
Being back home, what did you miss most, knowing that you came back and be like, oh, I miss this place so much, or like a favorite restaurant you get to go visit now?
You know what? I think, I mean, it's got to be the Heights. There's a place, Silver Heights
St.
Restaurant.
James, yeah, you're the St. James kid.
Silver Heights Restaurant, man. That place is unbelievable. Great food, great, amazing people, good service. I mean, it's a nice little place, chill spot to go hang out. They got a patio now. I go hang out there.
There you go.
They got good beers on tap, things like that. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the most consistent spot that I go that I miss for sure. I mean,
What about activities like the zoo, the forks, anything like that?
you know, as far as activities go, I'm just gonna hang out with my friends. I think here, I missed them. I didn't come home for Christmas, and I just loved hanging out with them, chilling out with them, seeing how their lives are going. I got my best friend here. He was married in last Christmas, and then now he's got a kid on the way, and I'm so happy I'm here for that and be a part of that kind of thing. So I'm just happy to be back in the city, man. It's good times here.
Good. Okay, good times. Ryan Johnson, starting left-handed pitcher. Look forward to your next start, maybe this weekend.
Yeah, I think so. Saturday.
And it's great to catch up with you.
Thank you.
Hopefully, get to do it late in the season.
Would love that.
And show us that fireball. Throw it up to the camera. That show us what it looks like.
Yeah, this guy here.
There it is.
Just
right there.
generic, man.
Just generic. It's he makes it sound so simple, but you get in that plate, forget about it. It's hard to hit. I might try that next time here on the Goldeyes Show on ASTV.